晚安啊！啊，我要怎么我要努力的想办法撑到晚上22点，我才能拿回我的枪。顺利一点的话，今天应该就可以结束了。我现在就只剩下拿回我的枪，这样就好了。怎么办啦？22点啊！然后竞赛又不能打发时间，金不在的话，至少还能差不多了吧？因为已经到安检尾声了，已经确定那个了，那边已经确定是那个了，确定那个什么，确定路比就在里面了，所以应该也差不多了吧？没关系，反正我那个 Steam 游戏库很多地方还有很多东西要消耗的，是我的游戏库满满的，很多东西要消耗。所以我基本上我是不缺游戏玩，特价就是买，然后买完之后呢，就放在那边，放在那边当装饰品。8月28要到28号月底耶，哇，还有一段快了。之后还要等那个，还是要等那个什么，还要等他那个汉化资源出来。
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
标新立异的情况下，26点，我要点一点标新看看。
Hello again, officers.
8%，就1点是加5，一点是加5%，好像对刚一点是加5%，所以如果5点你都再加25%上去，还是很低啊！我操！我们什么加个标新立异的那个标新立异的服装，用服装来撑好了。哦呦！标新立异是蓝色。就加2点标新立异上去。好，没有了。好，伸手行，那我买酒还是烟呢？我去买烟看看好了。可是游戏出来是要等汉化资源，然后汉化资源要看情况怎么样了。对啊，没官方中文啊。哎呀，哈哈 ，FYK 什么的，那个 FYK 什么的可能会有官方中文，对不对？他们单纯只是想捞钱而已。
A colorful display of cigarette. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak. The beauty, the truth, the poetry of it all.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, don't look, don't do anything here. Just go away. Get back to work.
智力哦，对，智力业啊，智力烟是扣生命值，我以为全部都扣士气。
The pale aged vodka is special. I guess. It's stored in Pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong. Sure. So, are you gonna buy anything, or...?
8再抽烟变9，这个扣生命好麻烦哦。扣4期我大概还可以接受，4期还蛮高的。
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Voilà. 要交帮它是红色检定，红色检定只有1次。
Hello again, officers. Have you
28。
come to admire my mural?
诶，648，然后8居然直接跳到28，他的上升比例完全无法。
They do say the painter
完全无法理解他的上升比例。
Hello again, officers.
You don't have the skills to execute something like this in practice. But, oh boy, the idea's going to blow her fucking mind. She squints her eyes.
我用重来要把它涂成红色，这他妈用火把它点着。
On fire. I say, sod off. You don't have the technical skills to do that. I like your idea. Should have thought of it myself. I don't need this kind of competition in my neighborhood.
该死，他太强了。
Then get your brush from fucking art.
Oops, my apologies. I guess I was trying too hard. You're a police officer and a grown-up. Why are you trying to impress her? Maybe try a different approach, like climbing up there.
啊，爬上去。啊，我是这样很难搞哎，天哪！爬上去有差吗？
Hello again, officers.
我怕你
Have
逼
you
不决
come
心的
to
把手
admire
指
my
抽出来。
mural? Ooh, police brutality. That's the good stuff.
我会站在这里，直到你把手指揪出来。
Have you got any kids? Because you sound like the world's saddest dad right now. But fine, take the brush. I'm all out of fuel oil anyway.
You know what you've got in that fuel canister you scavenged from your Kanema? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil. Time to get to proper work, artiste.
呀，我有刷子啦！我第一次看过穿着的服装能影响那个，能影响的例子还蛮少见的。好了，创作时间到了。
The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver.
What
will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind.
前面就算了，那个我爱昆托是什么东西啊？看这什么 ？What the？
You've spoken. The wall will now silently repeat the message for a decade or so.
你跟我说这是，你跟我说这是话，好
Adding another layer of detritus to the city.
你跟我说这是话，这是艺术，你认真的吗？对啊，这是什么？鬼太郎是不是？
Very poetic. Real poetry. Should we return to our murder investigation? I hear there's a really bad one we're supposed to solve.
金已经快不行了，我觉得金他已经有点好随便你吧，你赶快把你想要干的事情干完，我们来去办正事，拜托。
The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? You've spoken. The wall will now silently repeat the message for a decade or so, until the sea air degrades the paint, adding another layer of...
Very poetic.
我看有没有比较好看的，这也不太行啊。虽然说至少比那个3500年前的人类几下来好多。
The paintbrush in your hand.
这个呢是什么？
You've spoken.
Very poetic.
就不能来点有意义的吗？我好像找不到比较有意思的东西耶。
The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind.
禁止停车，年年永生。算了。我爱昆多，啊，就这个吧。我觉得这个，我就至少比写字来的好多，真的。我讨厌写字。就这样吧，我就决定用这个了。
You've spoken.
Very.
反正我不知道，我不知道谁会爱昆诺，就是基本上我可以确定我不爱，我可以确定我不爱昆诺。我们来看一下
Police badge on which you see the photo of
之
a
前
man.
看的时候那个
You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
好像有些东西要在那个金在的时候，它才会有那个才会有注解。
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not.
生气的时候他会叫你警官，不生气的时候叫你警探，所以你可以听得出来，他叫警官的时候表示他现在心情不爽。
The badge in your hands shines as you wrote.
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're double Freighter.
哦，所以主角拒绝过2次升迁哦，哇，他有2次升迁的机会，但是他都拒绝了，是这样吗？
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect.
所以主角在堕落之前其实是很有能力，他在堕落之前其实是很有能力的一个，大概就是毛利小五郎有没有？毛利小五郎在变成侦探之前，他的警戒是很有名的，他是变成侦探之后才堕落的。
And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank. In your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
重型破案机器。
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens' militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last-century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. My pleasure.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between...
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
The numbers are not there for good measure.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well. But better? Probably yes. A lot can happen in 4 months. Especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you. Of that you are sure.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is... It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva. Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him, ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate.
啊，对哦，先去报告一下我的警证找到了，至少向分局报告一下。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
Stands in a matrix of men. The old king looks defiant.
有这边还是什么都没有。哇， 没有的打发时间真的很那个。好了，我来试试看捅这个马蜂。大部分的事情都完结了。这个要等明天，然后这个金拿不起来了，重复。这个好像没的那个。好吧，这个才是重点。希望问的不会有事。
Right to work! Right to work!
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
因为好像剧情是说问他这件事很危险，所以之前一直。
It just has to be said, that was not a convincing lie.
Fucking bug.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, cracking somewhere, an earpiece. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. The man's breathing steadies, but...
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
非常非常糟糕的主意。
Silence. He takes the photo. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. His face is unmoving. Hard as a stone, but beneath it, you see dead flesh in colourful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in. Yeah.
He's clenching his teeth. There is silent pressure behind them.
What it means. I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here? Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benital, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission.
Benital is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminese archipelago near the Pale. Covered in jungle, it was anchor point for the Seminese nationalists in the proxy war held on the islanders' territory.
He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kept villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Our boy, he's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon. At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason. The kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God. Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them. Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach. There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless, odorless. It's...
You bet it was. No, I was in the Domain, in Jamrock, being a bouncer. Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off. But
He's under orders, and orders are orders.
go ahead. All right now. Free commerce! Keep the goods flowing!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
The Copper-nado is back. What do you want? Yeah? What?
哦，应该这边没什么新的东西。
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod. He looks up, shrugging, isn't it?
Hey, was there something you needed?
This就只是要打发时间呢。我打发到晚上10点啊！我看还有什么事能做的，我想一下。要不然就干脆不要拿回枪了。不行了，我觉得拿回枪也是个枪，拿我的，对啊就不行了，没办法调整时间。因为金在旁边啊，如果金不在旁边的话，可以坐在长椅上。他有长椅啦，但是要金不在，金不在就可以坐长椅去那个调整时间。但是金对警探来说，好像就像一个限制器，有没有？限制你什么可以做，什么不能做，这样就会变得很。我老实说吧，就是麻烦啊。金在旁边就是一个麻烦。所以金不在就可以做很多，金不在的话就可以做很多事，但是金在的话就很多事都不能做。因为金这个人太过认真了，他只要没有那么认真的话，倒还好处理，就是因为太过认真。然后这游戏好像也没有什么快速度过时间的方法。其实这个游戏单跑主线真的很快，你单跑主线什么都不要管，然后真的其实很快就会结束。 你看头盔我已经觉得已经算了，头盔拿不来就算了。反正要寄一套才有靴子，还要拿奖，要拿到那个成就，拿成就还要那个什么，就是要拿到鞋子才有成就。所以如果缺鞋子的话，也没有成就可以，说。
The dome-shaped plastic boy.
要不然我看好像游戏提示好像有说了，买本书的话，买书的话时间会推，看书的话时间会推进比较快。我试试看买本书来读读看。反正也都进到最后了，钱有没有钱进无所谓。好吧，就是一些那个看有没有这些啊，这个年龄已经死了，年龄已经往生了，这就是。你看要不要看是不是这边可以玩的？这个睡着码头功能已经没有了，垃圾桶没有了。好，地图墙到什么东西啊？被保护的门。啊，这个乔斯也来不及啊！这乔斯已经跑到这边来了，所以他这个已经这个没办法，这个白色检定已经有些都已经没法那个。封起来了门已经从另一边打开了，所以就这些都已经没有了，就我这边唯一能剩下的检定就杠铃吧。唯一可以弄的检定就是那杠铃。啊，买本书看看吧。
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more?
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Oh, yes, certainly.
The cover of this tattered paperback features the man from Hyundai standing atop a pile of bloody corpses. His two Zweihanders are crossed over his massive chest in a dramatic X, their blades dripping with gore. Behind him rise the harsh, snow-capped peaks of his native Northlands. In bold red letters, the title, Hyundai Man, the man from Hyundai, unfurls like a banner. In the foreground, a nearly nude woman lies spread in supplication, her privates strategically covered by her flowing black hair. The back blurb reads, his latest adventure serves as the perfect introduction to the savage Hyundai saga. Meet man from Hyundai, his faithful blood brother Tiribald, the noble Lord Hrothgar, and some of their most fearsome foes yet for the Northlands, for Hyundai. Below, in smaller font, you see the parenthetical, adapted from Man from Hyundai and the Necromancer's Treasure, Man from Hyundai, Lord of Hrothgar, and Man from Hyundai, The Curse of Nakht-Hera.
我是觉得这个书店难经营的关键大概是我是觉得书太贵的可能性比较高。不然你在旅馆住一晚只要20块，但是一本书就要9块钱。也就是说呢， 我是觉得书的价格有点高。
Brazen attempt to bilk fans for more money by splicing together old stories under a new title. People find comfort in familiarity, remembering old experiences, looking at old photos, reading old stories. The story opens in media res. The man from Heimdall and his band of northern reavers are in the bowels of an ancient temple, surrounded by an army of gibbering whites, led by the deathless necromancer. One by one, the brave Northmen fall to the relentless crush of undead, only to join their number as reanimated corpses. By nightfall, only the man from Heimdall and his blood brother, noble Tyribol, are left standing against the dead horde. It is an honor to die by your side, brother, Tyribol cries, as his battle axe beheads one of their reanimated comrades. 9, Tyribol. The man from Heimdall bellows over the army of flesh and bone. Have courage for the Northlands, for Heimdall. He leaps to the mezzanine to face the black-eyed figure, and like a mad ice bear, whirling twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, he plows through the ranks of the deathless, surrounding the necromancer. The writer has never held a sword in their life, let alone two two-handed swords at the same time.
要同时拿起2把双手剑，那个力量要多大，你知道吗？双手剑欸。
It is physically impossible for a human being to effectively dual-wield Zweihander swords in any kind of real-life combat situation.
之所以叫双手剑，就是因为他的那把剑又大又重，所以要2只手才挥得动。
And with deadly finesse, his twin blades scissor the necromancer's head from its body. The undead legions collapse like ragdolls as the dark magic leaves them, and the 2 Northmen stand alone in their cursed temple, where the bodies of their lost brothers litter the floors. A few chapters later, the man from Heimdall and Tyribol are in a completely different setting, high above an arid desert, riding a pair of griffins that always seem to appear at narratively convenient moments.
有啊，时间确实过得比较快。他刚好时间有跳了15分钟，直接跳过15分钟。
This book makes a mockery of the very idea of good plotting, though something tells you coherence was never the point. The Northmen find themselves in the court of a powerful southern king, Lord Hrothgar. The old king beseeches the man from Heimdall to rid his kingdom of the Natera, a subterranean clan of blind wizards who traded their souls for demonic powers. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from the desperate king. He asks land for the homeless desert pygmies living exiled in the kingdom's borderlands. Hrothgar offers the hand of his eldest daughter instead, but the son of winter does not budge. What do you mean? Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest, because, above all, he's driven to bring honor to the name of his beloved Heimdall, because his noble Cutland blood lusts for glory and conquest. It cannot be denied. What do you mean, is that all? He is the man from Heimdall, forged in the fury of battle. Death was his sire, and blood his dam. He had but 14 winters when he left his frigid homelands in Cutla to seek glory and honor. That is his character. He doesn't even have a real name. What is inside this man? Or is muscle and bone all he is? He is the wildest man alive. The only mortal strong enough to wield the twin Zweihanders, Sturm and Drang, whose names mean storm and...
他的书的设计在于让你近在身边的时候，你又想快速度过时间，那就只有看书。 金在这里，但是你要想快速度过时间，那你就只能看书。他的意思大概就是这样。
What are you, a book critic? Enough. You're ruining the pacing of the story. Now where did you leave off? Ah yes. What pacing? You skip past a section detailing an elaborate banquet with many toasts, as well as the long and perilous journey from Hrothgar's keep to the ancient forest of Yesdar, where our heroes infiltrate the Naktera's dire hall. In the center of the great hall stands a blood altar on which a pair of Naktera are disemboweling a shrieking peasant, an unholy rite that empowers the Naktera forbidden magic. As the vile ceremony ends, the sound of steel unsheathing draws the Naktera's attention to a pair of cloaked figures standing in the doorway. Swiftly, the visitors toss off their cloaks and unsheathe glimmering northern steel. It's the man from Heimdall and his valiant blood brother, Tyribald. In an instant, the Naktera summon a horde of gibbering orcanoids who rush our heroes. The hall fills with the clang of blades and the screams of the dying as the floor goes slick with steaming orcanoid viscera. Oh, for fuck's sake. When the din of battle settles, only the man from Heimdall and Tyribald remain standing. Exhausted and dripping with the entrails of their foes, the two Northmen confront the foul Naktera. The man from Heimdall's soda-like blue eyes fill with indescribable fury. For the Northlands, he cries, rushing headlong into a desperate melee. What?
就跟第一部一模一样，所以叫口齿，就是口齿不是口齿不清这个词用了2遍。
In the first scene, the man from Heimdall fought a powerful necromancer and his army of the dead. Now he's confronting a pair of Naktera and their horde of orcanoid thralls. The two couldn't be further apart.
这样，第一部是一个强大的巫师，然后第二部是一组，就是2个强大的2个巫师，然后第一组是亡灵大军，然后第二组是受地精屠夫。
An excellent question. One easily answered by purchasing the next thrilling chapter in the Heimdallaman saga, Heimdallaman at the Gates of Tomorrow. The last page of this one merely reads, To be continued. Considering the sheer amount of different Heimdallaman books out there, it's very unlikely you're ever gonna find the sequel. The man from Heimdall stares at you on the cover, his face fixed in grim resolve.
啊，这样子过了1个小时啊，玩转美盒啊，9块钱，然后只加快了1个小时，好哦，是不，甚至1个小时都不到。啊，好，应该1个小时而已吧。对啊，就大约大约，刚刚是1点10分，50分钟，一本书就50分钟哦。9块钱度过50分钟，有点磨砂也火。我多买好几本的话，那就算了，一本才拉50分钟。
Hello again, officers.
我觉得应该要稍微有一点能快速度过时间的那个。
The door is closed again. Nothing to do here anymore. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. Whoever lives here must be back home. The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier. More old bullet holes, half a century at least, from the revolution. You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Sweat starts trickling down your brow. Your chest feels tight. It's closing in, caving in. Ever tighter. Your breathing grows even heavier.
为什么？我只是看着一堆弹孔，这我他妈就扣血了，这哪招啊？哭啊
You okay there?
人家看到这个世界感觉非常糟糕。
Might be the after effects of your past escapades. What are you looking at? Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old. Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago, but no, these do not warrant an investigation.
哦，天哪，哭，真的哭。
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Should we go?
不是，我是觉得这扣血流的有点瞎。
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out? Get away, pig!
我真的，我现在手上有一把剑，我真的想直接把他头砍下来，超烦。我看我查一下有没有怎么快速度过时间的方式。哦，哇，总是快速看一些不重要的东西。
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, "A primer for small kids."
总是一直重复看同一本书，然后一狂按，然后时间就过了。
This book will show you the score, get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life. The alphabet.
字母表啊。
Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet, with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows. A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamite. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamete. H is for homeboy. I is for econ. J is for Ura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion. Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for Wahrheit. X is for xylophone. Y is for Ustava. Z is for zenith.
U 是极端主义者。我好像突然就这样，为什么我好像就这样被默默的认定是极端主义者了？这个好像有点故意耶，我这有点故意耶。
That's it. You know the alphabet now.
U 是极端主义者。
Good. I also know the alphabet.
哦，这里还有一本书。
In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow. Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grant. You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set.
600页。
It's nearly 600 pages long.
字体很小，排版紧凑，然后有600页，哇！
Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading. The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author. She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph, and yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you. In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugoslavia riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugoslavia riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugoslavia Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
啊，对，我看到那个什么啊，那个什么沉默意识的开发商好像有要做新作，然后是那个沉默意志的世界，跟沉默意志同样的世界观，不过呢，它是俯视角的动作游戏，看起来应该是俯视角动作游戏，就类似那个，就类似那个，对啊，日系模式，我就想那个世界观，但是我完全很难 get 到它是同一个世界观的游戏，说真的，就目前看来啦，我觉得很难跟前一个很难跟沉默意志的世界观联想在一起，很难。对啊，就这怎么看，我是觉得很难，这个跟这两个联想在一起。这不知道它剧情打到怎么写。
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
哈，继续看下来，继续看下来，你的身体会受到伤害。
They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair, and in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence.
等等，我去买点恢复 HP 的。
He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka Polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life.
好险，恢复 HP 的药
In
很
the
便宜。
end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft. She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin.
看个书
as
都会
every
扣血，
single
会
one of
扣
her
4血。
dreams dies, one by one.
看个书，真的受到伤害，扣一滴血跟一格4血。我就觉得他这个扣血跟扣4血的方式就有点该怎么说出乎意料吧？为什么看个书，我只是看个书而已就扣血跟扣4血，有点夸张。
The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit. As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret. The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal alla fume. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bear wrestling.
狗熊摔跤。
It seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative in the People's Republic of Samara, SRV, devised and promoted by none other than President Kanajinsky himself. According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the SRV. Based on the description in this article, he appears to be an extremely competent and democratically elected president. Sapormat Sport Kanajinsky is well into his 3rd decade as president of the SRV. Outside Samara, he's known for 3 things: brutal repression of internal dissent, monumental corruption, and a near pathological obsession with physical fitness. Don't forget the moustache. Right, like all Samaran men above the age of 40, President Kanajinsky wears a truly spectacular walrus moustache. It It's quite straightforward. A standard match features one man, or in some cases, woman, against one bear. 2 competitors, 1 ring, 5 rounds, or until incapacitation. According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and youth obesity and alcoholism rates are down 12% and 7% respectively. This is the SRV we're talking about. If you think those are the real numbers, there's probably a guy who wants to sell you a bridge in La Shirt. That's very much the idea. President Kaczynski has long maintained that a strong body is the best defense against capitalist aggression. In shape, out of shape, you've always preferred to rely on your wits.
The Samaran People's Republic? No, I should expect not. Why do you ask?
我觉得光狗熊摔跤会很有意
They are
思。
quite the spectacle, as I understand. I've heard they make the people in the front rows wear plastic
那
sheets
前排的观众穿上塑胶铠甲。
on account of the blood, you see.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
如果说我要
It
参
takes a
加
moment.
了，
Why it evokes as you leave the Tip Top Tourney is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for. You flip back to the front of the magazine.
按错了。
This section you also whoa. It seems, according to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has of course not. The article makes plain that this is man on bear, or in some cases, woman on bear competition. 2 competitors, 1 ring, 5 rounds, or until incapacitate. According to the SRV, this is the SRV we're talking about. What are you, a statist?
The Samaran People's Republic? I suppose that would be something to see.
那是会是很好的一番景象，最后看起来像吉佐看起来被自己想象中的你和狗熊搏斗的场景逗乐。
You flip back to the front. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Volda is beyond you. It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tourney, a critical Mazovian perspective. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colourful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tourney. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity. Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a Fritta. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave. It's the stilted language and overconfident tone that's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits. Armed with Lena's friendly green ape pen, you spend entirely too much time writing constructive feedback in the margins of the page. By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible.
You know, most people would just write a letter to the editor. Or even better, just leave it be. I can imagine. Something tells me there's not exactly a glut of young communists itching to write about tip-top for La Fumée. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
没有按时支付房租，把他们驱逐出去有什么不对呀、喂，没付房租法叫你滚啊，哪里很奇怪吗？
Ah, this must be Gaston's handiwork. According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out in the cold.
我觉得这句话有点那个，为什么共产主义这么喜欢幼稚的人身攻击？难怪他们总是被冷落，自己也不明白为什么。真的，很像呢，这边很像呢，确实哦，对呀、因为他们确实很喜欢幼稚的人身攻击，然后总是被冷落，然后呢，他们还不知道为什么，没有，这边描述的好有那个、好有既视感。非常写实的描述。
Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know about it already, honestly.
某些粉又红的东西，大概就是这样子，真的就是这样子。
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
3:20了，真棒！多看这个基本书。好，没有书可以看。
《
刚可以，我刚刚这样算是不行？如果我看到一半不看的，因为这本书蛮厚的。
You stare at the now familiar black and white. In cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt you to keep reading. They go through a brief. He toils, she spends the memory of their short time spent together. As life leaves, they remain.
算了，还是不要了。这本书太可怕了。然后我看能不能这样能过多少时间？我看到一半不看了。
You stare at the now familiar black and white. The back, she can't be much old. In cold, the Yugo as ethnic tensions, it would physically hurt you to keep reading. You've made the right life choices today, sir. In cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt you.
这样时间段，这样时间真的会，这样时间过好快哦。我现在3:50有没有？
In cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically
然后
hurt you to
到
keep
4:05 了，
Are you sure?
这样一次过15分钟。
You've made the in
这样
cold,
可以一
the
次过15
Yugo
分钟
as
就放。
ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold,
我
the
不要看它
Yugo
我不要
as
看内容
ethnic,
我
it
现在
would
知道它就可以
physically
直接
hurt.
过
You've
15 分
made
钟
the。right in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt you. You've made the right in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would
这
physically
个方法
hurt
确
you.
实是
You've
很
made the
可以
right
非常
life
快
choices
速的度
today,
过时
sir.
间
In。cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would
是很
physically
吵就
hurt
对
you.
了。
You've made the right in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would phys. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic tensions run
这手
wild.
动快转，
It
真的
would
是手动快
physically
转。
hurt you. You've made the right in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the right life choice. In cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would fit. You've made the, in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the, in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt you. You've made in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold,
哇，
the
时间过好
Yugo
快，真
as
棒！
ethnic, it would physically. You've made the right in cold, the Yugo as ethnic tension, it would physically hurt. You've made the.
好，先在这边先做个存档。因为现在接下来去找飞天猪猪。我先在这边再读一次，经过15分钟。
You stare in cold, the Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've
好，现
made.
在10点了，10点，然后瞬间移动到渔人小屋这里，这边应该可以看到可以找到飞天猪猪。人家说他在这边，找到一个胖女孩。找不到，这里吧，在。我查一下好了。它在哪边呢？啊！要先帮艾弗拉特取得2个签名哦。你这个不帮艾弗拉特拿到签名是没办法那个的哦。 那还要拿回枪。渔村旁的木板道。也要拿回枪，还要去帮那个我们那个艾弗拉特，老实说有点不太想帮他耶。
Oh, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it.
因为那意味着要把他们要拿到签名，把他们赶出那个赶出渔村呢，好麻烦。老实说，有点不太想那个。那好吧。有时候要把枪拿回来，还要去做坏人，要做坏人才能拿回我的枪。我还以为不用做那个任务也可以把枪拿回来，结果不行。
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board, you bring joy to my... You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the water lock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in the Delta. Then I'll know you're a real Kingsman and a patriot. Mr. Dubois. No, you didn't. I know the mailman, Harry. I know everyone. Just like I know you'll get it done. Once you stop horsing around, let me know when it's done. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be... There's a nameless little... Yes, the little cul-de-sac on the coast, where all the men have drowned, in either the sea or the bottle. A gloomy place. Doesn't have that Union attitude. They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in this?
Am I? Harry, these people... Martinez is the most important thing in my life. We're going to build a youth centre there.
老师，我基本上我是不相信他了，我是不相信这个王八蛋的。但是为了拿回我的枪，我这只能这么说。为了拿回我的枪，为了拿回警枪，只能这么说。对啊，没有别的方法了。我去查了一下，这是唯一的方法。你要先帮他把信拿到签名，把信寄出去之后，他才会跟你讲，他那个飞天猪猪，就是那个猪猪女侠，她才会出现，要不然她不会出现，她才会出现。
Our cannon, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part, the part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing till I know she's on board.
The sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. Where are you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the union building? What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that.
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the idea.
That Everard and the union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess union members have children too.
And those members have a vote when electing the head of the local chapter.
He has a pen and everything. Here you go. You're welcome.
Our tenant, the policeman. Lillian should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have the head for it. Either way, I won't sign. I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never planned to keep. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes.
我也不相信啦，
So
但是为了
no,
拉，
I don't trust the fat man.
我也不相信他，
Neither should you.
但是为了拉回我的枪，这是必要剧情，我也不想这么做。
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple, and there's no change in it. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. Logic and reason won't work on this old bat. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability? The grandmother card will do the trick. Last chance to turn back.
What do you mean? What's going to happen? We are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village and they are doing fine for themselves. No, they are good kids. I brought them up the right way. No, they moved to Faubourg for work. Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just reel her in.
Then,
Wait. Let her come to it herself.
you watch your tongue, boy. This village has held up much better than some people.
Damn, that's cold.
That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. This place ain't what it used to be. Even I can see that. I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, who am I to stop them?
这就是用情绪勒索。
Aye, we do. We do. But how do we do that?
这完全就是情绪勒索。
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
等下这个。我看到一个很有趣的选项。
Our tenant, huh? I like to see him try. If anything, I am gonna muscle him out with construction noise.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. She doesn't seem surprised by this sudden twist.
Get out of here, trying to ruin my day. And that youth center better be a good one, or you'll have trouble from me. I wield an army of drunks. Do not underestimate the effect of such a force if it's pointed to the right direction.
我在想能不能不要签名，然后直接把文件寄出去，然后就不要，然后里面没有签名这样。我刚刚跑的，我有快速移动的吗？
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
Yes, for sending mail.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a cup. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. For good or ill, the deed is done.
Let's go back to Everard. This better be worth it after what we did.
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member, the Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course, I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future, Harry, and proven yourself a real kingsman who's not afraid to make the tough decisions. I know I can trust you now. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Hear that? You did it the honest way. You got the real signatures, and now he's happy. Well done. I don't know. Your dirty forgery fingers aren't sure if playing this one straight was the right thing to do. We would have preferred trickery, but the choice was yours, sire. As always, you are the liege, and you're in.
应该也，因为他说他如果他那个邮差会有拆信的话，如果他有拆开的话，或许会被发现。
There was no fine print, Harry, but I do hope all that construction noise and limited street access encourages some people to move. After a year of that ruckus, who wouldn't?
Oops. Yes. The noise would do the trick. It'll be terrible.
And when they do, they will have a good place to go. I'm currently working on renovating the buildings near the roundabout into affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset! I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce. Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on. Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
You would look nice as a statue.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace. Order it. You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that. Why a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war. Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste. Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her asshole. She has no chance. tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening. Order it. You know my men, glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes because sugar and fat was all my mother had to give me and my brother Edgar when we were kids. Good job too, as it made me ugly. And ugly people, Harry, are much better at politics.
That is true. People don't trust pretty people.
Why a war?
And what do...
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies.
He crosses his hands contently, thinking of the interior temperature of the wasp rising.
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. You're not an ultra-liberal, Harry. Get the fuck out of here. Don't be a retard. Harry, there is no strike, and we're not going to give
The word fuck.
So that's why...
Yes. It's also why, because it's already happened. No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. The guy, huh?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol. And they're all well motivated. At least the ones you've seen.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities. The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. and I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
Yes, yes, of course. And while you're doing that, please go ahead and also tell the Wild Pines.
Nothing in his features betrays any concern.
Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez. Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth, and everyone's going to pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys, Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering? Harry, the future I have in store for Martinez will have all the macho aesthetics you love so much. The crowns, the guns. I will even slip in a skull and bones for you, my friend.
Oh yeah, skull and bones. Skull and bones on the Revacholian flag. The Revacholian Death Squad. Oh yeah, the visual image has completely bedazzled you. You're 100% with Everard now.
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big time mode.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done. Your gun is with an old woman. I hear she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy, the one he described as terrifying.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
The neighbours of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building. As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
There it is again. The Pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast, the one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Great, Harry, great. I think we've truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry, you spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard? It was a figure of speech, Harry. Of course I don't have a window. I'm in a container. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
好啊，就这样。6点，我等到后面再，最后6点，在后面再把它点完。我看要把它点在什么地方。总之，我现在有6个能力升级的扣打。等后面看有什么不足的地方，再把它点上去。需要的时候把它点上去。
What a wondering man. Oh.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
This is precinct 50. Not yet. But I was able to convince the database people to serve private sector info. Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10.
Either sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. You're back. Good. What can I help you with? What we...
There was a touch of discomfort. She nods.
Of course. Anything to... I am sorry to have been the Oh?
Is what you're about to say when a cold streak runs through your heart. Once said, there is no going back, Harry. Yes. What if something happens to her and you've left one question unasked? Sneaky little question escapes your eye.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Here? Oh no. What does that bloated hellbat want with my little cinder block town?
我觉得我应该跟他讨论完的时候再
It's
跟他讲。
clear the village has already grown dear to her. Strangely so. Why did she come here?
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know what he has in store for this place. Probably a statue. It's a statue, right? A giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. Practically the same thing, but makes him seem less like a psychopath. A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him. I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats, like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in 08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
First, there won't be a youth centre. Whatever he has told you or the residents, there'll be something horrific, perhaps even worse than a statue. So, yes, I do. Fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. She gave me the idea. The infrastructure is all here, and with my connections... Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to. I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich candy girl who goes around solving people's problems with money. Yes, I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? Of course, Detective. You can always drop.
我觉得先不要跟他讲，先让我跟他讲完灰域的事情之后，再跟他谈，再跟他说那个艾弗拉特的事情。
Our cannon, the policeman.
好了，我来看书度过时间。
You stare at them in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the right in cold. The Yugo grow up as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo grow up as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made the in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made the in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt. You've made the in cold. The Yugo grow as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the right in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically. You've made the in cold. The Yugo as ethnic, it would physically hurt you. You've made.
好，先洗一下人。啊，洗一下那个 NPC 的位置。然后找一下猪猪女侠木板刀。我也不知道它那个木板刀在哪。我要找一下所有的木板刀。啊，木板刀该不是上面那边吧？就上面那个那教堂上面那一区。 真的有，我看到了。等一下，如果我不做那个，好了，存。
Put your hands where I can see them.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now!
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under duress! Officer, under duress!
Her eyes bulge with terror. Veins protrude on her forehead.
I am the police. Don't move. Don't move. Hands on your head. Suspect is armed and dangerous. Lateral vascular neck restraint. Carotid sleeper. Carotid sleeper. Critically reducing blood from passing through the neck of the suspect.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
The situation looks bad. Calm yourself. Steady your breathing. You have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do. This is dangerous. You're 70% certain you always leave your gun loaded.
Officer in need of assistance! Suspect alert! Get on the ground!
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot! Big red key! Big red key!
Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this.
It's the goddamn police shitbag! Hug the pavement! You're under arrest!
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine? Or drugs? She thinks she's a police officer. Try treating her like a police officer. A lower-ranking police officer.
What? Sir?
In this moment of hesitation, she almost doesn't seem disturbed, but like someone suddenly wakened from a deep sleep.
Officer compromise! Unlawful impersonation! Pigs en route! Engage your will!
Okay, she's actually more agitated now. My bad.
Confiscated contraband! Restricted access! 2 kilos missing! Eyewitness report compromised!
I don't think she's on drugs. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here.
Here's the plan. You jerk left, dash right, close the distance, and cut her hand off. Ready? No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all 3 barrels, red and blue light shining through. It's not loaded.
What? This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. What is this?
里面没子弹。
Police gunpowder has bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this?
Grab the gun, right now. This might be your only chance.
No one ever cares anymore.
对啊，他就是疯子。
Why would they treat me like this?
This limbed-and-headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is grinding to a halt. Tired of walking the desert, it doesn't want to feel or think anymore.
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this. Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8 and loneliness. Could be. Her hands were trembling and she did seem uncoordinated. But what are we gonna do with her?
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without a gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late and they might have already gone home. But I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? Being left alone. She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and flashes now. Maybe if you search her once more. The woman stands slumped. She looks catatonic under her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia.
Oh, is that yours?
It's hard to say. It's been so long since you wore yours. The lieutenant nods. The old woman doesn't react to your touch. You take the vial of Parolidon and the bottle of speed as evidence, obviously. She didn't consume them. She didn't look high. She confiscated them, a little like you are doing now.
You're taking those, are you?
Listen to him, for once.
Thank you. I'm doing this to help you. We need to focus on the case.
He's grateful you did this.
争胜好强，博学多闻。
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm. It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable.
Oh, 多一点的太好了。现在有我现在有7个点数，7个点数可以利用。好，等一下快速赶回去旅社，把这个阿伯交给他们处理。 我觉得这个快速移动是为了在这个时候准备的。
The Copper-nado is back. What do you want? What's that, Copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it?
看来大家都知道他吗
God, poor lady. Don't worry, we'll handle this. I think she got some family in Kurong or something. Bastards left her alone when she got sick. We've been getting complaints.
Hey, wasn't Everard's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, Pig?
Whatever you do, do not admit to these punks you lost your gun. You will suffer if you do.
No? Well, whatever then, Copper.
No. They totally said what it was. What was it? Anyone?
I don't remember. I was fucking drunk.
Let me know if you figure it out back there. Now, anything else we can help you with? Auntie LaPlante, we always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
Ah? 玛丽安朋友？什么东西
Anything else you wanted to know? Get wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig? No, I didn't. Because I'm not fucking stupid, Polizonte.
Yeah, Carl. That's it was. Like before. Just an old lady. Her kids moved away years ago. Never come to visit. Never took her calls. She gets out every now and then. She did ride by lots of us when we were
所以就是
kids.
一个
Always was a little
一个独居老人，一个被孩子抛弃的独居老人。
Us kids, that must have been ages ago. She was better then. The children kept her together.
Dunno. She lives by the water. Shit washes up all the time on the beach.
Police paraphernalia doesn't just wash up on the coast, people. It's not like we dump it at night. She bought it, collected it.
No problemo, cop man. We take care of our mentally ill here in Martinez. Ain't that right, boys?
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on these streets.
"好了，该回去那个了，该回去让金回去休息了。我要去问那个了。我要去把一些灰域的事情。
This late in the night, time to.
Good night, officer.
我要去问灰域的事情，因为这个叫金不在的时候才能问，很麻烦。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
哇哈！我的标新立异还不够啊！我点了个2点。
Glad to have been of assistance.
好， 然后再换。标。好，标新地好像只有也就是这2件。标新地好像只有这2件。哦，这好险，我都有留点数，有时候可以在这边用上。
Good. More lessons in basic reality.
好。
My favorite part of the
42%。
day. Go ahead.
A strange code.
42%，读了。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality.
A strange.
哇。
You're back. More lessons in basic reality.
A strange.
哇，好难哦，42%也不好过呢。
You're back. More lessons in basic reality.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound.
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
It must be. This is the greatest and the kindest arrangement the atoms had in them.
Indeed. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. ELYSIUM. It does. There are those who would call it hell. A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists. Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revischolgrad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona. Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, You're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever this all is.
所以可以问他回
Your
忆
arms
是什么
hang down by your sides.
The Pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality. Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interoceanic mass. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse.
我是觉得他这个世界观设计的也是挺神奇的，就对了。
Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor,
很
marked
魔
by
幻，
spores of
世
an
界观好魔
opportunistic
幻。
microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier.
There's a slippery article in there.
Pale when it's particular, this territory of Pale. The Pale when it's Pale in its entirety. Once you've seen it, language balks at the difference. Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue. It feels Terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
没有，这个灰是一个现实的地方，对他们，在他们这个世界观，它是一个现实存在的地方。
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the PAL driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gills, officer. They call...
Who says and who argues?
It feels...
It's more for her. Wayne, she's looking out. She's over-radiated.
Entrepreneurial.
They had not traveled the entire...
There are nothing. Hybrid in essence, then they don't...
Gone, like a skipping stone.
They call...
Who says and who?
It feels...
It's more...
No, Lieutenant.
Perhaps that someone else. She's looking out toward the sea. She's over-radiated.
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
总之，在灰域这个领域，一般人不能暴露超过6天，超过6天之后会有影响就很大。
Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely. Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, Detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the pale? You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must...
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
得的是这金不在场的时候，才能跟乔伊斯聊灰玉的事情，好麻烦。
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything?
很多东西都要金不在的时候才能做，这最麻烦。好了，我可以度过这一天。对啊，金基本上是他就是警探的限制器。啊，我要听那个了，听那些该死的那个脑内。
The bed is comforting, if a bit rough. The place feels almost like home now, quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
It's easier this time. Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights in the bottom of the sea. Until there's suddenly light.
主角应该是有去过灰域，而且还在那边暴露了很长一段时间，要不然不会变成这样。
This respite, you've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around.
哦，你是说那个、哦？对啊，他应该我是觉得有啦，我是觉得主角去过灰域，但他已经忘记这一切。他已经忘记这一切了，因为他应该是在灰域中暴露太久，结果受到影响，他已经忘记这一切。
No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.
啊！我这是最后一次面对他们了，之后再也不会了。这是最后一次遇到这些脑子了，因为我在今天就要把这个案子给破了。然后再去跟乔医师讲讲这件事，我看他会怎么处理这件事，就是那个艾弗拉特。
You're back. Good. Oh. A takeover.
下一款可能那个什么啊，那个这是英文诶，好像它中文好像叫什么？我看啊，这中文好像叫做那个什么那个诶。反正它是一个推理游戏啦。我记得它是有中文翻译的。它那个标题是有中文译名，但是我忘记是中文译名什么了。总之就这个，这个玩一玩应该差不多差不多那个什么啊，差不多汉化版，它汉化模组应该差不多就差不多了。这也是我也是买了很久，但是躺在那边躺很久的游戏。
If they're taking it.
Green livery changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Then we're talking about a war. Everett needs to let me into the harbour at once. We need to talk about this. They most certainly are not. Crenell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Crenell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do? Everything affects the decision-making process, Detective.
Officer?
对啊，它是一个因为它好像还有一款新作，那款新作可能之后才会买。它还有一款，它有做一个它的新作跟也是一样的东西。
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
Of course. Your job is to clean up after them. And it looks like there will be a lot of cleaning to be done in the near future. What will I do?
Her arms fall to her sides. Her spine relaxes.
Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our reality lowdown? It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years. The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death.
我只能说吧，共产主义真的是最不现实的存在。共产主义真是最不现实的存在。
The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds.
Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. Like she was purging her political rivals.
There was no precedent for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry.
Called Volta Doma, or Return from the Sea.
The 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counsellor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. Slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor.
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, "Lancielinde, Lancielinde," the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
You've thought it a million times.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Lysergique. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen. 4 years later, the Queen's Counsellor was proclaimed her Innocents Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high.
所有白色检定已结束。应该用不太到。
The first living autonomous organism, proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune. In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent and rare. Imagine the suzerain of seagulls. On Caillou, the Pebble, the largest of the fertile, uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later, the nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae, or they discovered us, all in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there, wipe out indigenous populations, gunboat economies, or they came to do the same for us, or had done to each other. But here, there was no one but the skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain, revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism. It is. Soon it will be spring and everything will blossom.
The gangs will run wild, jacking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamines through Coal City. Spring is tough in Revachol.
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
What happens will happen. The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. If you handle the situation on the ground. Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
There are no employers. She's a member of the board. Probably a partner.
You are the citizens' militia. There are no superiors.
That's right, Detective. And next time, you should confer with them before you go setting events in motion.
Despite his words, he's not really sure whether to be annoyed with you or not. Events are already in motion. whether your actions accelerated or momentarily retarded their progress. Even the lieutenant cannot really say.
I have not deceived you. I told you exactly who I was. Rejoice Layton. Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Cronell's investigation?
The confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties. Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesia. You're insane.
你的结论我赞同，没错，他就是疯了。
I know, because I too am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich. The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola, the Volta do Mar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
You could use a little of it yourself.
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing, and I've got it bad.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
No, Detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very...
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. With worry in his eyes, he does not know if it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't say anything. You wonder what Everard has to say about this. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
先在底本写，写好像是钢筋铁骨，然后再把它钉，反正钉死我读在，也只在我先把我的血点满，我金在迷之抖动，哦没有了，他刚卡在楼梯间，然后那个迷之抖动。
Yes, what is it?
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
What? But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. The lieutenant's, too. He takes his glasses off.
Then what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
Then the Pale is... But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here and the Pale is not. I understand. A theory of the Pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. like a cancer or a mold, erupting in points inside the world. According to this, how long and information causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's born in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM
knows how to think this.
Of course! A pine wood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers. I have considered the same. The bad news is there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of Rivershore settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but
some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
of course! Yes, but still, most of them were...
Some of them might.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development?
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them. You mean Plaisance and the Dice Maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up. Then go tell them.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
打扫房间。哦呦，4位加持全都有加哎啊，这一定要直接视讯内化，这个没有副作用，全部都增加，这可以。
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
Man, you will certainly sound mad.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space. I wouldn't go so far as to...
Yeah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!
Thank you again. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthropogenic detection to perform in
The swallow, you mean? What about it? Great. Thanks. The creepy woman! We were wondering about that when we worked there, but I had completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be anthropogenetic crosstalk, the one you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense, with the pay right on the doorstep.
Incredible. This would also explain why we get it on the police radio all the time.
It's quite common, actually. When the signal gets routed through Pale, all kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or the voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago.
我怎么总觉得他回忆大概就是跟类似个百慕达三角洲的地方。
Pale is a shroud of memories, and it doesn't really distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything. Anytime.
啊，我没想到，我本来以为能快点结束，但是我的工作好像要增加了。对，没错，应该是没办法玩完，因为我发现我的工作又增加了。我要去提醒那个书店老板娘跟那个投资工，那个投资老板，那卖投资那个老板，跟他们讲这件事情。为什么我的工作好像突然又增加了？
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime Rem. What do you mean, the actual source? Are you talking about the third presence? What?
现在现实有一个小洞，它也是跟灰域相连的，某种类似某种原点，这就解释了玛丽类似历史上为什么有这么多是最后都以失败终告。
Ma'am, what he's saying is true. We found an anthroponetic anomaly in the small Pinewood church down the coast. I don't mean to be an alarmist, and more research is needed, but it's not looking good.
But that's not in any of the ancient texts. How am I supposed to protect my bookstore from that?
Tell her the truth. It's out of her hands.
Close the shop? But it's all I have. No, there must be a way. Especially now that Annette is settling in at school again. She's finally making friends in this place. No, we can't leave Martinez. We can't. Thank you for your help in any case. You're welcome back here anytime.
好吧，他坚持要留下来，我这个我们那个我无能为力。大家要坚持要留下来，我也无能为力。我本来以为那个事情短短的就可以了，结果没想到那个又扯出更多事情。
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? You mean the curse that I'm spared of because I live outside its immediate reach? I'm listening. Excuse me? A 2mm hole in reality? This can't be true.
I'm afraid it is, ma'am. Sona Lukanen Kill, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident, made the discovery.
Sona is involved in this? So it's even worse than I thought. It's not just the commercial area that's cursed, it's the entire world.
She looks outside the window where daylight has filled the yard.
Just Martinez? In any case, thank you for stopping by. It's good to have an answer, even if I can't claim to understand it fully. I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can only produce one.
好啊，我就该说的说完了。至于他们要不要搬走，就是他们的问题。我。我先看看吧。我先看陆明那边怎么样，反正我枪已经拿到了，可以往陆明那边前进。 对吧？我看一下，对哦，序号啊，我忘记问序号的事情了。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. Yes, I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details.
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Elys Kortenaer. That's E-L-L-I-S K-O-R-T-E-N-A-I-R. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February 09. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2.
According to Klasia, Lele said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Ravachon. None, officer. Sorry. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice. Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
A compliment from Lieutenant Ketsuragi. Not bad.
A name. This is very good. Elys Kortenaer.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that, 10-10.
好吧。这个办不到了，这个我不知道怎么处理，这个我不知道怎么把它完结，这个已经没办法了，因为他这个尸体已经送走了，对吧？金必须不在场，这边都已经讲他不允许的，而且他不允许的，所以他这个因为尸体已经送走了，所以他这双鞋子我拿不到了，然后这个我完全不懂，我不懂后续要怎么处理，这就算了，然后录笔已经找到了。这是目前我剩下3件事情，其他应该是没什么事。还有6点升级点数。好了，我要不然明天再完结吧，明天再把它搞定了。我今天就先玩到这边了。好，就这样，晚安了，拜拜。